Hello everyone, my name is Abhang and today's video is dedicated to the 6th Senapati of the Maratha Empire during King Rajaram's regime. He was considered to be most foremost exponents of Ganimi Kawa, in English known as guerrilla warfare. He was once punished by Shivaji Maharaj for not showing his face for 3 months. Watch the video till end to know why he was punished so and to know the history of Santaji Ghorpade. He belonged to the historical Ghorpade family, which was a branch of Bhosle clan. He had 3 brothers, namely Bahirji and Maloji, in which Santaji was the eldest. His father was a stepbrother of Baji Ghorpade, who was killed by Shivaji Maharaj. Santaji rose through the ranks under the guidance of Hambirao Mohite. It is not confirmed about his birthday, but it is said that he lived from 1645 to 1696. In the beginning of King Rajaram's regime, Santaji had attained the rank of Panchahazari officer. In English, that means commander of 5,000 soldiers. Now let's start with the invasion. On the midnight of 16 July 1689, Saturday, there was rain and lightnings were cracking. "2,000 horses were coming up. Every Maura was wet. Mughals were spreading over. Santaji gave a signal from visible distance to the Mughal camp. Bahirji Ghorpade, Pithoji Chavan were on the front foot with Santaji Ghorpade. There were many divisions of 2,000 brave soldiers and horses who were led by such leaders. Everyone knew their work perfectly and mistake was not expected. But still, everyone was explaining their work in a whispering low voice. They were planning this extremely daring invasion since past 2-3 months in the vengeance fire of the death of Sambhaji Maharaj and to kill Aurangzeb. This invasion was important for the kingdom. The courage of attacking more than 2 lakh soldiers was totally gathered up in Maratha Mauras. Nonetheless, no one would think to do so. Santaji, who was born and brought up under the supervision of Shivaji Maharaj and Sambhaji Maharaj, decided to destroy the Mughals who were bothering Maratha people and kill Aurangzeb, who was protected by around 2 lakh soldiers, and bring his head on Panhargarh and put below the legs of Rajaram Maharaj. Santaji's father and Sir Senapati Maloji Ghorpade did everything possible to save Sambhaji Maharaj at Sangameshwar, but sadly lost his life and couldn't save him. 5,000 soldiers were causing destruction and nuisance in the kingdom. The mighty Mughals and the richest Sardar Aurangzeb was struggling to finish this small Maratha empire, but still wasn't successful. Aurangzeb was really troubling Maharashtra. Mughals were in the misunderstanding that the Maratha empire would last for less than a month. The soldiers were not aware of the plans of the Maratha and were literally chilling. Large parties were daily seen near the Mughal tents. Santaji and his team were going to make them aware and bring them down to earth as they were not aware of anything. The intelligent Maratha spies risked their lives and lived in the Mughal tents for 2 months, namely Pant Ghanshyam Ram, and there were many others hiding there, who made the map of the Mughals and gather all the information like entry and exit of the soldiers, their shifts, the signs that Aurangzeb gave, and the necessary information which was necessary for the attack. Rather than attack, we can say a surgical strike. The Mughal guards in the way were fooled by Marathas as they said they are returning from the attack, and the Mughals also thought why would they come here and for dying in front of 2 lakh soldiers. The soldiers were waiting for Santaji's sign to move ahead as the thunder flashed. Santaji raised his sword and courageously roared, "Har Har Mahadev!" In the fraction of a second, Marathas piled up the Mughal soldiers dead. The sleeping Mughals woke up till the Marathas had finished killing more than lakh of soldiers in that smoke. The swift Maratha soldiers and Santaji Ghorpade, fighting on his horse, bravely turned his direction towards the tent of Aurangzeb. Under a minute, the guards of the tent were led to death by Santaji and his members. They rushed towards Aurangzeb's tent, but you can say fortunately or unfortunately, he was not sleeping in his tent, but he was sleeping in his daughter's tent with some special guards protecting him, who were discussing about his next invasion. That was Aurangzeb's lucky day. In the moment, his nephew Vithoji Chauhan with his clan members arrived near the tent. With sorrow, he glanced at the tent and he noticed the tent's top was made up of gold. With attitude of revenge, he cut the parts off with his keen sword and threw past it towards his soldiers. They were still not satisfied with this, so they destroyed the luxury tent by cutting off its ropes and tearing its clothes with sword. The luxurious tent was destroyed in seconds. After that, Santaji and Vithoji again went into the warfield fighting. The bodies of Mughal soldiers piled up by thousands. There was chaos everywhere, soldiers were stamping each other, everyone was screaming, crying, and the situation was a mess. Just by imagination, we get goosebumps. Slowly, Mughals were getting alert. They started attacking Mughal Marathas back. Soldiers were shooting with arrows and Pathans with guns. Frightened and confused Mughals were fighting with each other. Santaji realized that now Mughal soldiers are getting alert. At that moment, he informed his soldiers about it by just showing a sign language. Marathas turned towards the Sinhgarh fort. All Maratha Mauras had peaceful night resting at the fort. Some Maratha Mauras also lost their lives in this daring invasion. But the damage to the Mughal Empire was way more. But the biggest damage, and which cannot be recovered, was the royal tent and the reputation of Aurangzeb. By cutting off the pinnacle of the tent was like cutting off the nose of Aurangzeb. The mightiest warrior was invaded by around 2,000 Marathas, who was protected by 5 lakh soldiers, was shaken by this. You can imagine the situation of the army. So that is it for today, guys. Like, share and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you. Meet you in the next one.